This is Sam, this is Colin, this is Sarah. We are all in the making of this video, and it's about genetics. So, let's begin.
It all started with Aristotle and the thought of the mother supplying the building blocks and the father supplying the life force.
Okay, I think that's pretty reasonable, except that's really old. You know that, right?
Yes.
That's around the same time where Caesar was stabbed like 4 million times by all of his friends. So I'm pretty sure there's this other guy named Gregor Mendel. You should know him because we just spent a long time studying him. And he's the entire guy who built the basis of what we know as genetics now. He was a very famous geneticist, and he used peas. So here's what he did, was he figured out a way to calculate what an offspring might have compared to traits. So,
and how is that made?
Well, pretty much how that's made is there's a little square here. Oh, yes, this square is called a Punnett square by Reginald Punnett. Obviously, the last name, you can tell why. So there's a little square here, and this square was, let's see, let's just pick an example somewhere. Let's take Sarah, for example. You can see that she's got brownish hair. So, what color hair did your father have?
Black.
Okay, so the father has black hair, which we can assume is probably both two big case X's. And then what about your mother?
Brown.
Okay, so then her mother had brown hair, which is, well, also big X's. But now we mix these two together, and we have a big X and a big X, a big X and a big X, big X and a big X, big X and a big X, big X and a big X. So pretty much meaning that out of all of the offspring, most of them, if not all of them, should be black or brown hair colored. Yeah. Now there are some other types of traits and other types of genetics, such as, excuse me. So there's other things like incomplete dominance. Would you like to explain that, Sam? Do you think? I don't really remember much about it.
So, incomplete dominance is when the father is one color and the mother is a different color. And when the two parents have an offspring, they create a offspring that has both colors within. So, the offspring will either have spots or stripes, kind of like a zebra.
Yeah.
A zebra is black and white and has stripes as a pattern.
Okay. Well, let me see if I could draw up an idea of what I'm thinking of. So yeah, so let's say there's two birds here. For some reason, one of them is orange. Why orange? It's just a coincidence, I promise. So if they have an offspring, the offspring would probably be white in some places, but also orange in others. So like it might have a white head and an orange body, and something to that degree. Are there any kinds of things like this? I'm sure it's just not this, is it?
No, actually, dolphins have a form of incomplete dominance where the top part of their skin is more dark than the bottom.
Oh, that's pretty impressive. But what about recessive genes and stuff?
Recessive genes, if a parent has a big X and a small x, then, and the other parents, and we call that a heterozygous mix, which means there is dominance and a recessive gene within the parent. And if the other parent has a heterozygous gene template, that means that there is a 1 to 2 to 1 ratio, which means that one of the offspring will be one color, the other one offspring will have the other color, and then the other two will be a mix.
And you notice through all the examples, this is all using this same Punnett square, because Reginald Punnett was apparently a very smart guy when it came to this. So, Sarah, would you like to add anything concerning genetics? Not much? No? Okay. Well then, if I can think of anything, something else in genetics that we didn't review was most of the kind of more advanced genetics, as I call it, which is not really what it is called.
So what about complete dominance?
Complete dominance. There's one right there. Complete dominance is. Ooh, that's a good one. Do you think you can cover this one?
I think I can. Complete dominance is where if two parents of different colors have an offspring, the offspring won't be either of the colors of the parents. The offspring will be a mix. So, say a bluebird and a redbird have an offspring, and it is complete dominance, then the offspring will be purple.
So, in conclusion, with Aristotle's thoughts that were wrong, it went to someone else.
Like Mendo. Mendo, he made a bunch of peas to create the idea of genetics, and then Reginald Punnett came along and decided to create the Punnett square.
Yes, and then when Reginald Punnett created the square, all the other geneticists in the entire world figured it out and realized this was the right thing. And then they figured out things like incomplete dominance and complete dominance and other things of that matter. All right, well, let's wrap it up. I'll see you guys later.
It all started with Aristotle in the thought of the mother supplying the building blocks and the father supplying the life force.
Okay, we're not doing another one. Not hybrids. Mass reproduction. That's it. Yeah, you think that's funny? Yeah, I was on a roll. So, okay.
The first ideas came from Aristotle with the thought of the mother supplying the building blocks and the father supplying the life force.
Okay, well, this is an interesting hypothesis.
An Austrian monk
noisy
who
decided he would spend his
to
entire
make some
life
noise.
in his backyard
I have an idea.
with little pea plants instead of going out with all his friends and drinking furiously.